Good evening and welcome to the podcast with Bob Pace and Daniel Waugh. And we are we are
I like that.
fun-loving people. She's a mother of three, and I'm a father of six. And she has had CPS troubles. I've had CPS trouble. We both have. And we're here to help you all with your CPS troubles. Because if you haven't guessed by now, CPS is bad. CPS is bad. And
Yep.
uh, before, well, so you got the picture up. I think it's important for people to know why that picture is there. And that picture is instrumental to this show because I think I'm the only one using it. But it's a picture of
Right.
8 social workers that work for the child protection system. In Phoenix, it's called the DCS, Department of
Is it
Children's
still on
Services.
there?
And now you've lost it.
Hold on. Let's get it back up there. That's weird.
Yeah.
It
So
should be
what
on
that
there. That's
picture is
weird.
depicting, and why you're probably wondering why we're trying to advertise for the CPS system in Prescott, Arizona, is because these 8 famous social workers parade around in public at stores, and we lost it.
It's coming back up. It's coming back up. It's just my computer is extra slow today for some reason. Is
That's
it
okay.
up now? There it goes.
Anyway,
There you go.
no, there it is. There
Is that
it is. Anyway, what this is depicting is that they're wearing their famous pink T-shirts. They're so proud to wear them. 3 of them are facing forward, and 3 are facing. Excuse me, 5. Well, it's either other one is facing forward and back because there's messages on both sides. On the front,
like every
they
other
proudly,
person is one person's front ways, and then one person's got their back turned. So it's like it reads it like the people facing towards you are the ones that are the front facing, and then it says it in an order. Do you like it's one by one, like one person's facing forward, the next person's facing with their back backwards.
okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Anyway, the message
I
that
know
they're
that's
giving to you and the caring person that the social workers are is that they say on the front, professional kidnappers. Think about that. Professional kidnappers. Thank you, Danielle. You got it there. Professional
You're welcome.
kidnappers. And then on the back, it says, do you know where your children are at? And both messages are really against parents and children and families. That's the message, that they're out there trying to chase children and take them from parents. And that's the trouble with CPS. They're very proud that they take the children away from their families. Especially lately, they're taking children from the families that are not in extreme danger. My kids that were taken from me, I have 6. Only 3 were taken from me. And they were not in danger, but they took them because they thought they were. They were in school. How's that in danger? How's that in danger? They weren't in danger at homes. They each had their own bedroom. They had their own bathroom. They're well taken care of. It's just that I got caught up in the bad part about CPS. It's called allegations, and it's called retaliations. And I have, these are the lay people. I had family members call in against me and my wife that when I lost my job in 2010 through no fault of my own, they wanted to take our children. They didn't want to help us. They wanted to take our children. They weren't there at our wedding. They never cared about their daughter. They abused their daughter when she was growing up. She was abused big time. And what did CPS do? Nothing. Nothing. She'd been raped twice. She was molested by her brother. She had scalding hot coffee and water poured on her. She almost drowned in a lake. I could go on and on and on how bad it was she growing up. We met. We had a marriage. We have, the children, and we call them our young children. There's 3 of them because our other children are older. She had 2 before she knew me because of rape, and I had 1 from a previous marriage. So I've been married twice. She's been married once. She had 2 children, and um, she didn't want to have those kids being aborted, so she gave them life. And I know that they should be thanking their mother every day. But anyway, um, oh, we have Nadine Mongs that came on.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, do we have somebody
And we
else
also
on
got a
before that?
star or a
And we had Michelle Porter.
Michelle
Now,
Porter.
Michelle Porter
Mhm.
came on at what time, though?
Early. It
Oh,
she said
came in
2:13.
13 minutes after
Earlier.
our show. Yes, she came on earlier. So we've had
This
2 welcome
afternoon.
people. And I'm sorry, say that
She
again.
became a member. Awesome. She became a member. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
that's
She
good.
joined. She
Well,
joined the
you know,
channel.
I think it's a good time to talk about one of 3 ways you interact with this podcast.
Right.
One of the ways is that 2 people, a new member, and the recent person did. They Natalie Monger. And what I like you all to do is when you type in your comments about your CPS, either your case or questions, please show your name, city, state, or country, and be complete with your CPS case. Be complete. And we will try to help you. We really do. We take the time to do that. I'd rather see your face, Danielle. I'm tired of the pink ladies. Oh, those pink
Look,
ladies,
I ain't
they were fired, and their director was fired. But that is what the social
That's sad.
the CPS thinks
It's
of your
sad.
kids. It is sad.
Very sad.
Anyway,
Here we are.
there are 3 ways that you can interact, and one way is the comments. I'd love to have you, and we do have people from countries that contact us. I've had Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Ghana, Mexico, Mozambique, and Denmark. And they've all expressed their concerns with CPS. It's a worldwide thing. I was even reading some news that ISA was having a problem with their children and CPS.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that ISIS would even have a CPS agency. I don't know. I have to look at more at that. It was so weird. I said even ISIS was having trouble with their kids in school or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I read something like that, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. So it's all over the world. I mean, it's crazy. And I heard it was a lot rougher over there, like in the UK and that area. Like they do it in the streets. Like they'll do it right there in front of you. Just and not care. Heartless.
Yeah, I wow, even ISIS children can get asylum here. They can even get asylum. I was trying to see if there's any more news about the CPS with ISIS. So, okay, a second way that you can interact may be a little bit easier. Okay. Here's the latest. And I'm only sharing this information because I think it's interesting. Because we talk about, our kids or CPS. It says the Islam State of Iraq and Syria, which is considered ISIS, has caused child protection issues in several countries, including Syria and Iraq. ISIS has used children as soldiers, exposing them to extreme ideology, radicalization, violence, and abuse. The exposure can be lead to trauma that can cause depression, anxiety, and other issues.
Wow.
ISIS, okay, detention camps. ISIS affiliated women and children are detained in camps in Syria, including Al Rojo, which houses nearly 40,000 people from around 60 countries. These camps are dangerous, with children dying from preventable diseases, accidents, and violence from ISIS supporters. Children are vulnerable to indoctrination and can become loyal supporters of the terrorist organization. Children who return from the war theaters can face social service challenge. For example, children who return to Kyrgyzstan from Iraq may have no memory of their home community, be unfamiliar with school or village life. So, we talk about U.S. and our trouble with CPS. Think about those countries there. Think about those countries. And the only reason why I'm bringing that up is to share some new information.
Natalia.
I don't want to make our podcast boring. I'd like to, keep it amusing, keep it enjoyable. I want to do what you people would like us to talk about. I want to know what
They
you
got
people would like to
ideas.
talk about. I want to make it exciting time for you and try to wipe away your worries and tears by suggesting you follow some simple rules. Follow some simple rules. We're not lawyers. We're not professional CPS workers. We are caring, loving people, a loving mom, a loving father. And we both have children that we've lost and are trying to get back or trying to work with our children. So, I forgot to put the number. The second way of
Today, police harassing Natalia. Again, Natalia? Wow. Natalia's in. She said the
from
police
West
were
Hollywood?
harassing her. Yeah. And they were harassing her today.
Well, my phone line
You lost
is
your
open.
kids.
Oh, no.
You lost your kids today? Oh, wow, I'm so sorry. Did she have court? Wow. So what did you have court today? Wow, I'm so sorry, Natalia. What?
She said 2017 she lost her kids.
Okay. But today the police are harassing her in a driveway. Wow.
Well, it's like
why were they bothering you? Oh yeah. Her son, the one that when he's walking home from school and the campus the college harasses him and
yes,
he's trying to just walk home.
That's Kay from Richmond, Kentucky. Yes.
Yeah, I can't really. And her son is even. I mean, he don't bother nobody. He just minding his own business, walking home from school.
Yeah.
And they harass him. And is he autistic?
Special needs.
Is her son autistic? Yeah, I don't think he is. But I mean, but that's no reason for the police to be bothering him all the time. I mean, if they one time and they settled it, that should be left alone after that. There's no reason if he's doing the same thing every day. I mean, why? That's like bullying. It can, like, really.
Anyway,
in driveway today with pets sitting in driveway. Wow.
Okay.
Wow, Natalia.
I'm sorry, Natalia. My second way of interacting with this podcast is the call in, and now's the time to do it. I'm open for calls between now and 8 o'clock tonight, Pacific Standard Time. The phone number is 626-698-0990, and you'll be able to talk on the phone live. I'd love to have you call in and talk about your case and work with Daniel and me and try to help you with your case and stuff. I want to thank you for the emojis. I got 2 loves. That's nice. That's really, really
Tally
nice.
wants to know if she
And I
can
got
call
some
in.
thumbs up. I got thumbs up. And I got
did you? Yay.
yeah, it's
A new
nice to
member.
have those. I do like you
Mhm.
guys showing comments about our show. I want you to tell us if you don't like what you hear, want something else, please tell us because we'll try to make that there. I do try to get the rules in every time because there's new people that join me. But I try to mix it up so it's not so repetitious. And I try to, we try to be fun on here. Danny and I like to crack a little bit. We're kind of funny. And so I think we do have a good time, talking about things and whatever not and stuff. So are you hearing me
Right.
okay, Danielle?
Yeah. There was just somebody talking in the background and they were loud. I didn't want it to interfere with the show.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know
You
if y'all
mentioned
can hear.
ISIS
Can you hear
versus
anything?
CPS.
Background
You
noise.
can call in now. I'd love to have you call in.
You don't hear no background noise, do you, Bob, on my end?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay.
A third way that you can be on the podcast as a guest, and we got our producer, Grace, who works very hard behind the scenes to make our podcast successful. All you need to do is schedule with her by an email with your day and time you want, morning or evening. Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, you pick the 7 days. I'm on 7 days a week, twice a day. One time at 10 in the morning Pacific Standard Time for an hour, and one time at 7 o'clock Pacific Time for an hour. And with that being said, we got ourselves our first caller tonight. I'm excited.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
you're live. You're live.
I'm live, and you know what? I had like a conversation with the pets, and I guess somebody heard it. I said, you know what, pets? I think ISIS versus DCFS, and I think that's why I said it out loud, and about 3 hours later, the police show up.
You're kidding me.
Oh, wow.
I think somebody heard it while they're watching ISIS versus DCFS, and I was like, I'll say it out loud. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't want to be messed with no ISIS if I was DCFS.
Well, I only brought that up
Wow.
because I saw in the news how tough it is with CPS in ISIS countries. ISIS is a terrorist group, and Iraq and Syria are the two countries there, and they have 40,000 kids in I'm talking kids, not women, kids in detention camps.
They have them in detention camps because they want to funnel them out the DCFS so they can use them for
No,
trafficking
they
dope.
use them as soldiers. They don't funnel them to. And by the way, I like to stick with the term CPS because CPS means everybody.
Yeah, CPS. But that's what they want to do. They want to pull it back a bit so they can traffic dope like in the 70s, like how they were doing the French Connection.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem,
crazy.
as all you listeners in there. There's negative attitude towards CPS, and rightly so. They are very deceptive. They are liars. They're not transparent. And I keep saying that they're like those social workers, the 8 pink ladies that were.
That's right. And I mentioned out loud even the pink ladies, and they didn't like that either.
No.
But I'm just out there, with the pets. And I have a friend that stops by and talks to me, but he just doesn't understand, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I have you on the phone. Can you tell me what the newest news is? Today, you said you're fighting the police in your driveway?
I didn't fight them. They were asking retarded questions. They were like, well, what are you doing here? I said, I live here.
Now, what kind of police show up? Is this the LAPD?
It's the LA sheriff.
Oh, it's the county sheriffs.
Yeah.
Why is the county sheriffs patrolling West Hollywood?
Right. I have no idea. They have had that for a while. So
did West Hollywood? West Hollywood is a city in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Los Angeles, West Hollywood have nothing to do with each other. some of the smaller cities use the LA County to do their police work. And I think why you have LA sheriffs walking around is that the city of West Hollywood, doesn't have money for their own police department.
That's right.
Wow.
And they came the other day because my friend was drunk and yelling at this girl, and she had to call security. But they couldn't do anything because he was just drunk.
Yeah, well.
But then they like my pet, the police. But if they know what they did, that's why they harassed me.
Well, wait a second. Were they on?
They took my kids without a warrant. They know it. They can look it up.
Right.
It's all possible.
Were they on foot patrol? Were they on foot? Okay.
I can't see my daughter because she's going to be 15 on Sunday, and I just get upset, But I'm not. I just want everybody to know out there in the world that I still fight for my kids. I still tell everybody about the pick ladies and all the things they do in medical trafficking and all that stuff because they need to know that this is real.
Now I have a question for you.
Right.
I have a question for you. Were these LA County police on foot patrol or cruising in their car?
They were in their car.
So they were cruising the neighborhood, and why did they stop at your driveway?
Because I'm sitting on the cardboard with the pets, and that's what I do till I protect the house next to the gate.
Wow.
And they think it's unusual.
Because I know it's dangerous because I have my mom's car in the back. It's a white Mercedes, and those homeless, they can jump over the gate, and now they're having gay parade. So I get nervous.
Yeah, West Hollywood is a gay community. Yeah, you're right.
So
they bring all the crazy people out here, and I have to sit out there for like 8 hours a day or 7, whatever, to just sit there. Because I don't know what could happen.
Well, why wouldn't you sit in your house?
Because it's cold in there.
Why not sit on the porch?
I don't have a porch no more. They took that out a long time ago.
Well, I'm trying to picture what your house looks like. So you just have a front door.
I have a front door and a little garden in front, and then the gate on the side. Yeah.
Why couldn't you sit in the garden?
It's shady. There's not enough sunlight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's true. There's the trees, but it's okay. I'm sitting out there. It's not like I am doing anything.
No, I know it's your place. You can do it. I just, I was trying to help you so you don't get harassed by the police.
Well, there's nothing they can do. I'm sitting there.
Well, they can hassle you. I don't understand it. Here we are. We have people in that same city being shot and stabbed and robbed.
Right.
And why aren't the police after those people?
Because they don't want to help them. They just want to get somebody like me who looks stupid to them, but not for whatever, to bother them. But
question: what would you like to see changed about the show?
Right. You want to change the show?
No, I don't want to change the show. I just want to make sure we're doing it. We had a review, and all the shows that we're doing, they're asking us to make it better or more interesting, more exciting, or whatnot.
The only thing we could do is have them, I guess, try to. I mean, the show is great. That's
what I'm saying.
We're helping everybody.
Do you like the way that Danielle and I talk and everything? Is that okay?
Yes,
okay.
Because Danielle, she explained a lot of things that she researches, and that's important. And so do you.
Right.
I don't think we're doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Here.
No.
I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
She told you.
Oh boy.
That's what.
Hey. No. We're going to move on.
Everybody lives in a different state. I mean, we can't. We have to look up everything. But it's so.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, it all adds up to one thing. but it's so crazy because that's how they have their rules.
Okay.
You
All
know,
right.
of the court.
Okay. All right. Can you tell me? You said
Right.
your kids were taken in 2017. What is the
They were
latest?
taken in 2013.
Oh,
by the
2013.
police.
2013.
And I had two little girls, and they were 2 and 3 years old. And then, so they took them out of the window instead of the door, which was open. Without a warrant.
Oh yeah, that's
So I opened the door
and
banging on
and
the
without
door.
and that's when the
What?
and that's when that the person, there was an adult when there was somebody there with you that was watching them. You were in you had to take a shower, didn't you?
Yeah,
And that's when they got him.
He was
That's
an older
wow.
fellow. He
That's
wasn't doing anything.
that's
He was little.
and how old were
I
your
was in the
kids?
house. Oh.
In
What?
2013, how old were your kids?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. What happened in
Oh,
2017?
Well, what happened was they didn't look for my uncle at all, and they didn't look for any of my relatives. So my brother said to my lawyer, well, the lawyer asked, well, do you have anybody out of state? And he says, yes. So my uncle, he lives out in Washington, and so he said, I'll take all the kids. I'll take them because his kids were out of the house. He was like in between. They were like, basically his kids were growing up already, going to college and so forth. So he said he wanted more children and everything to take care of them. So we said, okay. And he fell in love with my little daughter and everything. And my son was an infant at the time. He was just born 6 months before.
Okay.
And then so they took my son to the hospital. And the lady that was supposedly taking care of my son, she wouldn't give him solid food. And all that, she would just give him milk. And then he got sick, and then he got RSV and everything. So basically, they lied. They kept the ICPC for my daughters. They withheld it.
So
they withheld it?
The ICPC was sent, but this is what DCFS does. They hold they get stuff, but they hide stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
They hide.
Now we need to tell the audience and listening what ICPC is. I'm sorry that.
Okay.
Yeah, I need.
Okay.
That's fine to bring it up, but I want to make sure our audience, because sometimes we have people. And by the way, welcome, Faye. Good to see you here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's interstate compact agreement from state to state. They transfer children.
Yeah. What it is in simple layman terms, it's an organization that's independent from CPS that works with CPS to move children from one state to another state because of special needs. If one state can't take care of them, maybe the other state can.
Like my son, Georgia couldn't handle worms, so they sent him to Texas.
There's no special needs. It's just they have to have basically they'll transfer them out of state. So in this case, my case, it was for my uncle. So he had space for them and everything, and he has the means to take care of them because he's an anesthesiologist.
Okay.
So then, so they hit the ICPC for my daughters, and then like 6 months later, all of a sudden when the ICPC shows up for my son, she was willing to give my son to him.
Really?
Really, yeah. It looks suspicious.
It certainly does.
She said, your daughters are comfortable with these Mexican people, basically.
Oh. Well,
But
where
their
you at now? Where you at
they,
now
they
with
don't
your
have the
children?
same, I don't know, whatever, but it's just
Where are you
sick.
at with your children now? Where are you at?
I could go see my son. I could go see my son. I could call my uncle and see my son.
What
I
about
could
your
take
other
the
child?
train.
What about your other child? Didn't you have two?
My other two girls, I can't see but them
Why?
because they isolated me from them, and the only way I think, one way, excuse me, is that my son can get visitation.
But why are they not letting you see your two daughters?
Because they don't want me to, because these are strangers. They're crazy. They don't want any of that because they're crazy. They want to separate me from my daughter.
Well, wait a minute.
She has the chance. If she had my phone number, if she was willing to let me see my children, great. Because she doesn't really need my kids in her life because she has two children of her own.
Are you talking about the foster parents?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
She don't need my kids.
so
She
your
only needs them
rights
for financial
so
needs.
your rights have already been taken away.
Yes, but I try to get them always. I try to get them back, but the thing was that they had all these mixed up stuff in the appeal, their judgment.
Did you ever try to go to the state?
Yes, I did, but I need help to figure out how to get my kids to see my son or something because this is crazy.
Well, have your rights as a parent been terminated with them?
Yes.
Okay, there's your biggest problem. That's your biggest hurdle.
Right.
And you need to talk to a lawyer who knows that answer. I don't know the answer.
I know. They need help. Because this is the thing. I just try to help everybody too.
Yeah, well, what about the
too.
congressmen of our state, the congresswoman or the congressman that we have?
Well, what could they say? They would say you have
Well,
to go
we've
back
been
to
trying to,
court.
we've been noticing this because right now, Faye has been working with her Congress person in Kentucky, and they're making some headway. You see, if you bring it up
Right.
politically, you get the politics involved. They can go to Congress and make changes, or they can help you or put pressure on the CPS system. You need to alert.
I know in the federal level, it has been brought to the Senate's attention, and they are looking into the financing, the funding, and that is a new thing with it's called Families First, the Act and Families Forward, and that's a new. It's in the Senate right now.
Yeah.
I hear that today.
Well, they need to speed this up because to help the Congress because they taking more kids every other. It's summer, so they're gonna get their bonus.
Well, we all have to
That's
work.
what they get.
We all have to work with our own states and our own congressmen and congresswomen and
Mhm.
represent. We need to be totally involved.
Mhm.
It's there are pockets of us that are throughout the United States, and they get excited, they get going, and then they die off because I've read so many articles
Yep.
that this has been going on pretty steadily since '74. Where they have.
Okay, so
And
when
you start something, stick with it.
I know this happened with the Welfare Institution Code. They changed because what they did was they voted this stuff in. Before they didn't take your kids like that, but then in the 80s they even passed more legislation. And by 1997, when President Clinton made the Adoption Permanency Act, they just wanted to take those foster kids and put them with strangers. So
Is that something that fell under the Families First? Because have you ever heard about Families First? With they were talking to when Clinton was in office, but it's a Families First thing, and it's like for kinship. Did you ever hear anything about that back with Clinton?
No, what did Clinton do with that?
Apparently the Families First has been something that's been around for almost a decade, and it's with kinship, like grandparents, aunts, extended family, that they're looking into getting the financing to make it a more easier accessible services for these family members, that when you are in a case, like they're bringing attention to things more that have been there. These options have been there, but CPS is not utilizing it. You get what I mean? Like there's stuff that's been put in effect.
Grandparents and family members get some financial or educational help for this?
All of anything that any kind of services, and they're broadening it out, but they're going to make it more easily accessible, which means they're fixing to make parents and kinship and the CPS on one portal altogether, to where that's how we're all going to communicate, and like I guess micromanaging or whatnot, to make it to where we're all be included, like that they're not gonna, that with the communication is the main thing for one. But like they don't prevent.
They're gonna have that. I have no idea, but it looks to me the DCFS don't want to do that because they're just gonna keep doing what they're doing. It looks to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Let me share with you what Bill Clinton during his administration on child care. He had this group had this act called Putting Families First. I think Danielle touched on it.
That's it.
Throughout his presidency,
and that's what
President Clinton has worked hard to help American working families. This is why the president fought for the passage of the Family Medical Leave Act, FMLA, to allow workers to take up 12 weeks of unpaid leave to care for a newborn or adopted child, to attend their own serious health needs, or to care for a serious ill parent, child, or abuse. So they say they can take 12 weeks of unpaid leave and not lose their job. And then in June 96, he expanded the family leave, the FMLA, to allow workers to take up 24 unpaid hours off each year for school and early childhood education activities, routine family Medicare. So I guess the 24 unpaid hours is through the course of the year. The president also fought for greater health security for American family. He signed the law of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountable Act, which includes important new protection for an estimated 25 million Americans who move from one job to another, who are self-employed, who have pre-existing medical conditions. In 1997, Clinton signed the Balanced Budget Act, which includes $24 billion for the Children's Health Initiative, the single largest investment into health care for children since 1965. It's supposed to provide meaningful health care to millions of uninsured children. But as far as,
and then now
he talks about child care, he talks about care for a Head Start for 0 to 3 years old. There's a Head Start program. There's rural child care in rural America. Child care in urban.
Remember the thing that I mentioned the other day about the legislation and for people to send their stories into, like to the Senate. That is where they're bringing more, like you were supposed to see, they're bringing attention, and this is something that, so maybe when Bill Clinton was in, they brought it up, like it was in the process of being, but now it's going to be getting more attention, is what I'm saying. So maybe it was on the table in the under the Families First, and Clinton never maybe got to it. There was other focuses, but it has been going on that long. Like it's been in the works, but now it's got the attention that it needs, And
95 is 30 years. So why does it take you so long?
What did she say?
Well, one of the hardest things you can understand about politics. The problem is we're controlled by politics. So when one administration comes in, then a new one comes in, it all changes. When we had President Trump, gas was cheap. We had a border bill. We had exclusive, keep the people out attitude, and we had good paying jobs. When Biden came aboard, he shut down the oil line. The first thing he did is shut down the oil line from Canada into the United States so that we could get fuel for a lot cheaper. He went ahead and canceled the Build the Wall program. And then he opened up the borders and let everybody in. Let in all the...
Yeah, they let everybody in, and these piece of garbage people are my daughters.
I know. They let in all these people. Here's the sad part about it. The politics seems to cycle. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be our president, to be honest with you, because both candidates exhibit some problems, some issues. I think that, and again, I don't want to be politicking about this, but we got to understand that CPS needs to be changed, and I'm really worried because
it needs to be changed, but it needs
I don't
to
think
have,
Biden's not the guy to do the change.
What they need to do is put it back before 1974.
Well,
they need to not have the rules, because my dad told me, he was an attorney, he graduated in 72, and he knew all those stuff. He said that basically they don't take kids like that in 72, 73. They would start taking them maybe mid-70s, but that would be like kind of like extreme. But now they're taking them like candy.
Yeah, they are. Here's the thing is, it has to be done, these changes, and the only way we can improve CPS, we can sit here and argue and talk and maybe go to rallies and do things, is you're going to have to get Congress on board.
Rallies at work, but, they look at you like, okay.
Well, I'm trying to say, it's only going to change is we got to change it at the Congress level.
Got to get
the Congress has to make the changes.
It's time consuming, and yes, it's a lot. But because but eventually, you got to get the right person in the right ear, the right eye, and then it's on from there. I mean, you just got to persistency and dedication, and just stay on it. And
Nancy Schaefer, I think like what's the name, Hillary Clinton, was not agreeing with her, so that's what happened. Like all these problems.
What did Hillary Clinton do?
Like, she started getting mad at Matthew Schaefer. I looked this up one time somewhere.
Who is Matthew Schaefer?
Nancy Schaefer, the lady. Yeah, the lady in Georgia that made that big speech, and she got killed. Her and her husband ended up getting, after she made the speech about the findings with CPS, she ended up losing her life.
Yeah.
And they said it was her husband that did it, but no, it was, she was bringing it, like she was making it, and ended up, she died like that same week. It was crazy. And like,
I'm afraid
somebody was trying to make it. Yeah.
And she was trying to.
They didn't want her, because what she did was like telling them, I have this report and I know what's going on. And then the next week, she's dead.
Yep. And it was like somebody trying to, they didn't want her talking. They hush, She wanted to abolish CPS. She wanted more pro-family values. That's right. That's the best way. Nadine said it correct. Yes. She wanted to.
That's why she was killed, is because she wanted to abolish CPS.
Well, because she was bringing it out. She was exposing it and bringing attention to it, and they didn't want that. Somebody didn't want it. And she.
Well, it's a $50 billion business, and I hate to say it, that money does control a lot of things.
It's the money, but it's just, the kids, I've seen the videos where they take the kids and they take them into weird places.
Oh, there's the abuse is a mile long. It's a mile long. I know from firsthand.
Taking them somewhere else. It was crazy.
I know from firsthand experience, because my kids were abused in foster care. They were abused in foster care.
I'm sorry. I know.
They were abused really, really bad, and so like that is there.
But
thank you,
this week,
Natalie. By the way, where is she from? I still don't know where she's from.
Nadine.
Nadine.
It's no. Nadine Monge.
There's a
Let's see.
person on our podcast named Nadine Modge. Like
Yeah.
your name is Nadine, your name is really
Not
Natalia.
my name. Her name is Nadine.
Her name is
Nadine.
Nadine Modge.
Nadine.
Where are you from,
Madi.
Nadine? If you want to share that with me.
Maybe she's like Iranian or something.
I don't know. I don't know what nationality. All I ask her is where she's from. All I ask her was where she's from.
Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota looks like.
Oh, she's been on before. She's
that's-
from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry, Nadine. I'm so sorry. I sometimes have a bad thing with I should be listening to my rule number 2. Do your notebook, Bob. Write it down.
What we have to do is all get together somehow in person.
Well,
but I don't know if that's ever going to work.
No, the thing is,
in Georgia,
yeah,
I can get to you, but
yeah,
you can't get to me.
Medical. Your son, severely autistic, is home now. Oh, awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, congratulations! Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Did anything that we tell you help? Were we any help at all? I always wonder what we do if it's any good.
Bob.
Well, I
like Bob did.
when you go to the visit,
yeah,
make sure like I don't know if this is true, and this is what you should try to keep a notebook after your visit. Write that down, like Bob says, because if you have somebody crazy watching you, you should just write everything what happened at the visit because they're crazy.
She was. She said she was threatened CPS, and she was on telling her story. But he was in a DHS home at the time that she came on. She said she told her story on the podcast she might be typing.
Oh, I see. So he was over there, and then he came home. Thank God.
Yes.
So with her,
praying, it can happen.
Yeah.
So I always pray.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I agree.
But you have to know that every day is hard.
Right.
Natalia,
I wanted to go ahead. I'm sorry.
She said he had a voluntary placement agreement, but she was being threatened that if she brought him home, that CPS would get involved. He came home with injuries, and she immediately called for his removal. So he came home with injuries from the DHS.
Wow.
Oh, wow, that's. And is he nonverbal? Candace Brochet, yes, that's the leader of the Georgia Department of Family. Yep, she is the one that runs it. The Division of the Department of Human Services. Yep. What's up with that? That's her. Yeah, is she? Do we need to email her, Miss Robertson? Welcome in. I see you put the email. That is she is the. Candace Brochet is the lady over DHS here in Georgia. She's the one that oversees it, and they had a lot of. I mean, okay, so he is okay. So he's
Michelle Coswell
like
Robertson came in there and says, "Is Candace Brace at Department of Health Services, Georgia governor?"
So who's the governor of Georgia?
Yeah, that's the email.
Michelle, I don't know who that Michelle is.
That's a email that she sent. I know the email she sent. There's a lot of stuff going on in Georgia. There's a big bipartisan investigation, and they found kids being trafficked, and 400 kids being trafficked just in from 20.
They take it to McDonald's. No, they're taking it to some creepy sex maniac's house.
You said you listen. Okay, listen to this. My kid supposedly goes out for a van ride every day in tech where he's at. And
were you reading that?
That's she's the director for this. What, Bob? I didn't know it. That was me saying that. But what Nadine Natalia just said. like what she just said, that just like made me wonder,
Hold on.
because they leave with some of these kids and they say they go out for a van ride, and that makes me wonder a lot. Like, whoa, because I noticed something in his ISP that said he goes to every week. He goes on a certain day to do some volunteer work or something somewhere, but he's not doing that now. That it's look, yeah, that's what she said. Like, caught my eye, Bob. You know, it just, I had a light bulb come up over my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, ding.
Yeah, you're right, because what they're doing is they're putting him in the van and transporting to some weird place to, like, I don't know, molest them or something.
Or
Well-
child labor or something. That would be weird. They wouldn't be. I hope to God they wouldn't. They said they go out in a van ride and they go out. Yeah, it's like yeah. I just, could you see a place like that carrying 12
That's
autistic?
creepy. That's what they do. They load them all up in a van. I noticed that, and then they you don't know what they do in between.
Right.
You'll never know.
Yeah, I want to make an announcement right now. If you two girls could hold on a second, I want to thank the producer of this podcast, which is Mr. Vincent W. Davis. He is a dependent trial lawyer. He has over 35 years of fighting CPS and winning cases. He's done civil lawsuits. So please call him. And the number's covered up here. Please call him. Whoa. I got it covered up again here. Please call him at 888-888-6582. And he'd love to help you. He has a consultation of 30 minutes for $60. Make sure when you call the office, you tell them that Bob Pace sent you, and that when you talk to Vincent Davis, you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. You can also, at the bottom, I have a ticket at his website of how they get the consultation. It says, type in, what you type in is attorney : Vincent Davis, care of Bob Pace, candidly.com/law office of VWD /Bob Pace. So there's two ways you get a hold, but I want to thank Mr. Davis because he provided this podcast. That's 888-888-6582. He also is a good attorney. He'll do any state and so forth. But have that consultation that's 30 minutes for $60, and he'll strategize and help you fight CPS and win. I have right now about 8 minutes left, or 7 minutes left. What would you like to talk about? You'd like to talk about the rules, or you'd like to talk about another topic? What would you like to do? Any of you, what would you like to do?
Talk about another topic? It's okay.
Well, no. I have, as I say, 7 minutes left, and I did not know if I wanted to go into my rules. You want to hear the rules? We can do that, or we could talk about the Indian Child Welfare Act. We could talk about the 388 motion. We can talk about how to check on.
I think the 388 motions are important to talk about.
Yeah.
Because those,
Right.
if you're living in California, you have a right to have a 388 petition.
Right.
So the 388 petition.
The 388 is what they call.
The modified request for you to have. But when you have a 388, you should have more. Make a very good one, because that'll. Hopefully they can rule on it. But the thing is, when you have a 388, you can file it on the day of your hearing too.
Well, the way they've explained it to me, it's a motion to changes with new evidence, new things that sit there, and you can do that, but you have to file it with the court, and you have to make sure you send it to all the attorneys involved, the children attorneys, the social worker attorneys, and so forth. And then within 30 days, they have to have a hearing. Hearing. And that's when you can submit new evidence and so forth. It may not be called a 388 motion in other states. It may be called a motion to change things to your case. You need to find it.
I would have have to look it up, but they would have. It's probably like they
motion to
have one
modify or
they
something.
do not, and we don't
Well,
know.
we
We'd
know
have to
Maine
look it
does.
up.
So far, the states have said they have one is Maine, Virginia, Maryland, Florida. All have that motion that they
Yeah.
can make the changes. But it's not called a 388. So
Right.
now is Michelle Croswell,
Oh, there.
she's from Michelle Croswell, she's from where though?
Where?
She's been in before. And
Yeah.
we haven't. Pearl
Nadine's
just came in.
from Minnesota. Here's Pearl Vision. They're all coming on late. Oh my God, we got 5 minutes left. Welcome, Pearl. She's
Pearl
been on
Vision
before. If my nephew
Where are
is
you
placed
from,
with
Okay.
his first cousin, one time removed, how much of a chance do I have to convince the judge to place him with me? Well,
I'm pretty.
I think
She's,
you have all the
relative.
chances in the world.
Minnesota.
Minnesota is the
You're dealing with ICP.
Minnesota is
I mean, why
that
don't they just send them out of state?
Nadine.
Is their cousin out of state, Michelle?
no, this is Pearl Vision.
Pearl
Is
Vision.
your
Now, Michelle.
cousin out of state? Or is he in the state?
I have no idea. Right now, she says she's first time visit there.
Michelle is dealing with ICP. She is in Alabama, but she's dealing with ICPC in Georgia.
Now, Michelle Croswell Robertson is from Alabama. Thank you. And she's dealing with IPC with Georgia. Pearl Vision
How's
is
that?
from where? I forgot where Pearl Vision is. She's from
She's from Minnesota.
California.
No. Nadine Long is
Nadine's
from Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Pearl Vision
Michelle
from California.
Robinson is from Alabama.
Alabama.
Pearl Vision, I
Right.
think, is from San Bernardino, California. I think.
Okay, so
Bob,
Paul
you're-
we have you filed a 388 or what? What's going on?
She filed a 180, a juvenile 180 petition.
A juvenile 180 because I think her
hired-
son has
A
juvenile.
180, that's like almost. That's when you want to get rid of the social worker, right?
And she's in Northern California.
She's in Northern California and JV 180.
Hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
In California.
Right. True.
A JV 180 is request to a change order.
Okay.
That's
So that's-
388 almost. Yeah. Yeah. They just requested the
So
order
it's-
of the judge.
And they denied it when
Yeah.
she tried to do it herself. She had to get it for important issues. So it's like to get a immediate hearing, like to an emergency hearing type. So you have to have new evidence, and to get it to the judge, or circumstances have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Try that.
Okay, Pearl is identified.
Well, you
She's
got a 180, yeah, that helps. But she needs to do both a 388 and a 180.
yeah, because well, the
Yeah.
difference between a 180 and a 388 is going to be sharing some new information and making changes. A JV
Right. But
180,
she has to do both.
yes, Pearl,
And if
you
she
need to
can
do
get
both.
rid of the social work, so that'd be even better. There's another code that you can get on that.
Right.
I have to look it up again on my paperwork.
Well, I'm going to have to end our discussions right now because we have less than 1 minute left. And I always promise my producer that I'll end my show at 8 o'clock because there's another show that may be taking place. So
No,
I
so the
want to thank
180 is
all
like-
the listeners. I want to thank Pearl from Northern California. I thought she was one from San Bernardino. She's from Northern. I want to thank Michelle from Georgia. And I want to
Alabama.
thank Nadine from Alabama. And then, of course, Faye
She's
from
from-
Kentucky. And then I have Nadia from West Hollywood, California. And then, of course,
Thank you.
Danielle, my host, Nadine. All right. I want to thank you all. I'll see you. Now, tomorrow is a special time. Tomorrow is a special time. I'm going to be on at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. My son is graduating from high school, so I'm going to his graduation ceremony
Okay.
shortly thereafter. So I start the show at 8 o'clock tomorrow on Saturday. 8 o'clock tomorrow on Saturday, okay?
8 p.m.
Sounds
8 a.m. for a morning show.
Oh, 8 a.m. Okay.
yeah. It's gonna be what am I doing?
Yeah, but
So with that being said, I'm going to wish you all a good night. Thank you so much for calling in. God bless you all.
thank you. Welcome.
And I will see you again tomorrow. And keep fighting for your kids. This is
Yep.
Bob and
Yes.
Danielle, your host, signing off.
Have a good day, everyone. Have a good evening.